How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back for the reason to reinstall Mount & Blade to Bannerlord. And that, of course, has to be the new Old Realms update, adding in a whole wealth of new features. We have the addition of several new Bretonnian clans, so that is a brand new faction alongside several different clans which really fill up the west part of the map. Now, this isn't the complete installation of the Bretonnians, though. There is still plenty more lords to add to the north of the map, but as of right now we have an absolutely massive chunk and definitely a very playable area. On top of that, this update adds in brand new laws of magic, so we now have the law of beasts as well as the law of life. They all have their own custom animations, and I believe many of the other magical spells have also had their VFX updated and improved. On top of that, we also have a brand new career mode which allows you to go ahead and specialize in a different path if you are a melee user. Previously, the developers were very much aware that the magic users had this really kind of improvement of progression. They'd be able to unlock new spells and kind of level up separately that way, and then it left the actual melee users with not a whole wealth of things to look forward to. It's like, oh yeah, I've leveled up my one-handed skill, which doesn't really do much. You just kind of swing a little bit faster. So by implementing this brand new career mode, you're going to be able to unlock special abilities for both the actual campaign map as well as in battles. And I believe as of right now there are several in the game. There's a couple for Bretonnia, there's like the Blood Knight one, there's a vampire one, I think there's a warrior priest one as well. So there's plenty of these upgrades that you can go ahead and progress your way through. So let's dive in and go ahead and pick a culture. So we of course have the new Bretonnian culture. This is going to be the noble men of the west ready to fight hard. However, alongside the Bretonnians we also have Musalon as well. So this is going to be, I believe, the Red Duke's faction. I don't think he's actually turned in the campaign. It'd be kind of cool if there was a cool story right there. However, these are basically the disgraced knights of Bretonnia, and a lot of their roster goes ahead and shows that. So, you know, it means that there's not just going to be peace and prosperity in the Bretonnian lands. We are going to have Musalon who are going to definitely cause some issues. When selecting a character trait as well, when you're actually building your character, you can see, of course, some of the actual armors and other equipments that they're currently using. However, it is pretty important to go ahead and make sure you keep an eye on this last one, because this is going to determine your career path. For example, right here, you can see it will tell you as well, so make sure you read this on the last option, that you've chosen to set out on the path of the Knights of Bretonnia, and this will basically lock you in as a Grail Knight, and you will go ahead and basically have to level up. Again, if you want to play as a damsel, that'll lock down that culture, and by culture, of course, I mean career path. So here we go in the campaign map now, and my god, does it look beautiful. They've done such a great job with all of these settlements. The actual campaign map is just of such a high quality. All these custom assets really definitely do them justice right here. The actual Bretonnian castles look amazing on the campaign map, along with the cities, and yeah, they just all look really, really unique. So we go all the way up here, up into the swamps right here, and then that's where it cuts off. So as I said, there's still a big chunk of Bretonnia left to add, but I think that will come a little bit later when maybe there are more enemies for Bretonnia to fight, because right now, you know, they're just kind of fighting in between themselves, and there's not any orcs or, you know, beastmen really roaming around quite yet. But of course, all that stuff is still yet to actually come. So let's take a look at Bretonnia as a whole. As you can see, there are several new actual factions. So these are all individual factions as well. They don't kind of fall under a greater Bretonnia. They are just a dukedom of Bretonnia in general, but I assume that will mean that they'll basically just have good relations with one another, even though they're not actually technically under one faction, which is by far the best way to do it, rather than just kind of have one big empire, one big Bretonnia. As I was saying, there are currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lords. 7 lords right there, with Perveron right there inside of Bretonnia, with obviously Musalon in the north as well, looking quite powerful, having, you know, pretty well defensive formations. Obviously the swamps as well are going to really help them, and they are a pretty goddamn powerful faction. Also, you'll notice when we look at the armors in a second that they are very different compared to the normal Bretonnian units. Their units are cool, different stuff, so it's just really cool. So let's start off by taking a look at the base Bretonnian roster. This is going to be pretty basic. Of course, their elite units look really good. On top of as well, this is just the first installation of the Bretonnians as well. I imagine as we progress on, more and more assets will be changed out, because there are still a few vanilla assets in here in this roster, but But again, I assume that's going to be phased out as they kind of add more of Bretonnia to the map. So again, the roster is what you really expect it to be. A bunch of peasants going down to longbowmen who look pretty, not anything too special. We also have Bretonnian men-at-arms, which again are just really equipped with a bill, no shield. They're going to get slaughtered by missiles, but that is their job. They have a Bretonnian voyeur, which is going to give them some defense. We also have Bretonnian yeomen, which do go down into the foot squires, which look great, and there are several variants to them. And we also have the yeoman wardens, actually are equipped with a shield and halberd and a sword, so a little bit of an upgrade from these guys, but obviously a higher tier. And then they also have a low tier cavalry unit. However, of course, the main reason you're going to be playing Bretonnia isn't for their peasantry units. It's going to be for the absolutely beautiful Bretonnian Knights of the Realm. You're all the way up to the Grail Knight, and they're just insane. They are so good. Again, they have really good resistances, which again is a custom thing in the mod. All the damage is split into types, so we have like light, fire damage, and physical damage, magical damage. So that stuff can kind of, you get bonus resistances against it, kind of like you do in the tabletop and also in Total War. Of course, this is going to be like the main reason why you're going in and you're going ahead and messing around with them. Even their low tier 2 units look really, really good. I think there's some kind of vanilla basis still left over, and obviously it will be changed over. Obviously, I should mention, of course, this is still very much a test build as well. The mod hasn't released quite yet as of when this video is. They're kind of going through a QA phase right now, with a release obviously being fairly imminent. So yeah, the actual base units look absolutely incredible for Bretonnia, and you're going to be having some fun with them for sure. There is also other units as well, so we have like battle pilgrims as well. They've made them their way in. I actually don't know 100% how to recruit them. I imagine it'll probably be through the religious system, through events, and other things that do pop up. But here are the Musalon units as well over here. So you can see theirs is a little bit different, kind of a little bit more demonic, as you guys can see. They look awesome, and we'll dive into a battle with them towards the end of the episode. They start off with their ill-fated squires, then they go into knights errants again, we'll switch over, and then they slowly start to get more and more corrupted until you find the Knights of the Black Grail, which again just, look much more demonic than their more holy counterparts. So now we've taken a look at the units, let's take a look at the new career system that has been implemented into the game. We'll take a look at this one, then we'll dive over to the Grail Knights, but as I said, there are new ones for vampires as well as the Empire of Man. And what you'll do is you'll basically, as you upgrade your character, as you level up, you'll unlock more career points, which you'll be able to sink into. I'm not sure if it's another metric. I think it's as you level up, you'll be able to get points to spend. So as you can see, I've currently got Grail Mind right here, and this will allow me to go ahead and choose between these 3 paths. For example, I could go down the Fey Enchantment route. That will give my knights ward saves, which is amazing. That's just a 15% damage reduction from every type of damage. I could gain my entire army an extra 15% magic damage, which will be incredible, especially if I'm running several damsels, maybe some magically infused Grail Knights. And then just overall I can go ahead and improve my major damage. Again, if we go over, you can see we still get a ward save in this one, but they're a little bit different in the way they go ahead and go. Again, you can stack some really powerful stuff with spell cooldown. And as you progress up and level up and gain more clan tier, I think Renown 3 is basically clan rank 3, and so on and so on, you'll be able to unlock these more and more powerful abilities, and they get pretty crazy towards the end. If we jump over to the Grail Guardian variant, you can see that they actually get a really cool ability called Knightly Charge. So this is kind of what the developers want to start doing with more of these melee focused characters, which don't have access to cool abilities like placing artillery or, sticking down magic. You will actually go ahead and still feel like you are progressing in the game, and you're going to get this Knightly Charge ability, which when you are mounted, you can go ahead and basically just make it so that you don't break your couch lance as you go ahead and stick it down, meaning you can just run through enemies like a Grail Knight should be able to do. And yeah, this is really, really cool, and it increases your damage as well with every point in riding, so it kind of ties back into the skill tree. It's just really cool. And again, you get some different things to level up right here as well. We get Knights Errant, and you can see that will go ahead and basically buff a lot more of our knights, giving them more skills, increasing HP by 40. That is massive. That's almost a 40% boost alongside everything else. More melee damage. The enhanced horse as well is going to go ahead and improve certain areas of your actual overall combat and also the combat of your army. And it's just, ultra cool. And I believe this is also going to be on companions. I don't see why it wouldn't be. So again, you can level up companions in certain ways, which just makes things even more exciting. A little side note as well, I think that the Faith, Gunpowder, and Spellcraft tree have had a little bit more additions done to them. There's a few more Faith perks perks which are now in the game. Religion is a much bigger part of the game as well. Now move on to the actual kind of new maps that they've been adding into the game, and oh my lord, there are some beautiful ones. So here we have the brand new Bretonnian castle and architecture, and it looks absolutely incredible. This is going to be the main city variant, I believe, for pretty much every Bretonnian castle you go to will be on this map. At least the 4 or 5 that I've gone ahead and traveled to are all on this map, but again, it's completely understandable. This is something that I imagine takes 10, 20, 30 hours to actually fully complete, let alone get working with all the AI and stuff. So as of right now, these are going to be the castles, and then of course they'll add more variants, custom ones as well later on down the line. We're going to take a look at Blood Keep in a second, and oh my god, that one looks insane. Of course as well that these are siegeable as well, so you're going to be fighting when you besiege a Bretonnian castle, you're going to be fighting over this, and it seems like they've also added in a bunch more Empire ones as well. Here is the Bretonnian castle as well. So the last one we were looking at was a city, and this is the current version of the Bretonnian castle. Again, a lot simpler. However, I'm kind of a little bit debating where you actually attack this from. Do you literally just have to attack through the gate, which honestly is really cool? It'd be nice if castles were a bit more specifically designed like this. Are there no actual like siege towers or ladders or anywhere else? Again, I haven't actually thought on this, so I'm not too sure. But yeah, if they are forcing you just to go through the main gate, that makes for a very, very interesting kind of battle, and very different as well. This is also another settlement I want to go ahead and show off. As I mentioned, they added in, I think, a few more castles, specific castles for the Empire and also the Vampire counts. But this is Blood Keep, and I mean, my god, just look at it. It's actually insane, the level of detail in this. Even just like turning around, like look at all of that. How incredible is that? So much detail added in. I would love to actually attempt to siege this as well, because there's just so many areas you could go ahead and set up your defense if you wanted to, kind of fall back, hold the line. And there's also so many places you can attack from as well. It'd actually be really cool. I imagine this is probably where you attack from. I actually don't know. We're going to have to definitely experiment with a few of these when the maps get a little bit more stable. But yeah, just look at that thing, and you can go obviously make your way throughout the settlement. It's just so awesome, and this really speaks to the level of detail that this that this mod is going for, and in every single aspect of it. Because if you're playing over in the east or something, you might never actually come to this settlement, so it is just so cool. I also mentioned earlier as well how religion is now much more of a thing, and you'll be able to find these shrines of Sigma lying around. I think Bretonnia have their own custom religion, but I don't think their shrines are currently in the game in this update. It could be later on, but yeah, this is like the first major implementation of these like shrines, which if you are dedicated to a god, you'll be able to go ahead and dive into. You can go ahead and pay blessings, and this will give you certain bonuses the more you do this. It's also a great way as well of unlocking new units. So for example, I've gone ahead and got 9 holy units to my cause. I can also spend once we obviously upgrade our faith perk right here. As we spend more, we'll be able to go ahead and get certain bonuses, which we'll be able to spend for campaign improvements, like being able to move faster, more damage, better ward saves in battle, etc, etc. I've also as well seen in one of their dev diaries that they've mentioned that these can also go a bit of a nefarious way as well. The Chaos Gods aren't simply turning a blind eye to these shrines. But I don't want to definitely spoil, any of that for you guys. I want you guys to be able to check that out for yourself. You can see some of the flagellants as well. Look at that goddamn mustache. Now that is a brave man of Sigma. And it's actually a little bit of a shame. Hopefully in the future they can get a little bit more detail into this screen, because I'd love to know the resistances of a unit. Because obviously I imagine that these flagellants will have some sort of damage resistance, granted, that they're basically running in naked. So yeah, it'd be kind of cool if you could actually see that and like be able to tell what someone's bonuses and negatives actually are. Whilst we're here as well, you'll be able to see this is going to be the career mode for the warrior priest as well. And yeah, you get some pretty goddamn decent bonuses. Adds a healing buff to righteous fury, so when again whenever you cast this to go and buff up your allies, stronger melee attacks every point in faith increases that as well, so you can get some pretty gnarly stuff. And again, you'll be able to heal from that as well, so again that's going to be an AoE heal that also increases your damage. You can like to see where this can get pretty crazy. Double the aura size of Righteous Fury on the other one. And it all gets, pretty gnarly. And you can upgrade to, obviously, Arc Lecter right there, which is just going to, be absolutely demolishing. So now let's dive into an actual battle. You guys want to be able to see these units up close and personal to obviously show what they are capable of. And of course, the Old Realms have an awesome custom battler in the actual game. Much better than the vanilla one, which I don't think even works on 1.2. That's also something I should mention, but this build is going to be updated on on 1.2, which is the current beta patch of Bannerlord, which is awesome news. So many amazing improvements with the targeting, which is going to make battles really, really fun. On top of that, we also have new workshop changes, AI changes, kingdom destructions now in the game. 1.2 is going to be awesome. Okay, so here we are now in the battle where you can get some really nice looks at the actual Bretonnian units. I mean, god damn, do they look good. So many awesome models, so many awesome horse campons, and well as the lances as well. Look absolutely incredible. The detail is, you know, truly second to none. And then, of course, when they dive actually into combat, they are just as brutal as some of my poor infantry get hit by some magic being thrown over by the Vampire Lord. Again, you can see with Bretonnians, I absolutely adore the custom shields. I think it makes or breaks a lot of factions, and they've done such a good job with these huge kind of more tower kite shields. They look great. And the poor Bretonnian peasants in the background, they can't even afford shoes. I don't think they're going to be able to withstand this horde that is running towards us. The archers, again, pretty basic, nothing really too special. I'm sure we'll be getting some more custom assets for them right now, as they do kind of look a bit vanilla-y, but again, you don't really need them to look anything else like that. You know, they are Valandian peasants, really, at the end of the day. And again, they look really cool. We also, of course, have access to magic. This is going to be the Law of Beast, so I can shoot out an amber missile right there. Go a little bit too short. We have some tangling thorns if you want to slow up the enemy. We have a Pain's pelt right there. Again, I assume I can stick that if I get attacked. Hailstorm as well is going to be really strong. Flock of Doom. We'll see that little Flock of Doom right there. You can see it's affecting the units inside of it, dealing damage to them, and these lower tier units do take quite a bit. We have a Beast Unleashed if we want to stick that down. Curse, and also back to Amber Spear. Yeah, magic is pretty OP, and that's why you need a lot of these bonuses that give you like ward saves and stuff, because it really does add up into some pretty, you know, insane abilities. Can we stick down this massive curse here? The nice thing is as well now, it does also highlight whenever you're utilizing it. So when I do stick this, it will actually highlight the people that I'm buffing and debuffing, which is nice. Let's maybe stick down a little hailstorm right there. So we'll stick that maybe there. Again, it's not a bad idea to stick it a bit further back. Flock of Doom as well. Or a big Flock of Doom, you can see. Look at that. Again, I've got unlimited magic right now. We're going to charge our cavalry in. We'll charge both our cavalry flanks in. And my god, that Flock of Doom is doing an insane amount of damage. Let's maybe bring this squadron of cavalry all the way around. And then let's charge in. Again, you can just see the sheer... I've got like no cooldowns here either. But you can see the amount of damage it does do. The front line, oh my god, the AI is already crumbling. Wow, that is so strong. Look at that. And yeah, again, the infantry line's fighting, a lot of the cavalry making their way in. I don't think I actually have a heal. We are just going to pop that down the beach on leaves, which I think is a damage buff as well. Yeah, you can see it's a good damage buff right there. More of the infantry and the Grail Knights is fighting. Beautiful. I imagine they're going to like absolutely just demolish if they charge into the back of a line like this. Right now, you can see that there's just basically a lot of elite units. The cavalry are going to be the most damaging units because, again, they have a lot of the big armor resist. They have a lot of physical reduction, magical reduction. So it's going to take them a lot longer to go down unless you're fighting with magical weapons and other things like that. But you can see right there that the battle has been won. And, again, the units just look so good. I have to keep on praising them. Not only the Blood Knights and the other evil units that have been in here for ages, but also a lot of these new Bretonnian units, of course. I've dive into another battle. We're going to see basically what 500 cavalry can do in a second. I also want to show off the new Law of Light as well. So, no, sorry, this is life even. So we have Bark Skin that's going to give me some extra resistances, which is going to be really nice, and everybody around me. We can summon Heat. Again, that's going to be able to do some damage to the enemy, and obviously, you know, slowly start pickling them away. You can also see we've got a regrowth, but unfortunately, that's not going to be on any friendly units right there. We've got Drain Life, which will be great on enemies as well. We have a cool little Storm that we can stick down. Again, some of the animations. This is probably one of the better animations. It's actually really useful in battle because you obviously summon roots and it knocks them down as well, which is really cool. Great, now we're dead. We can truly see the fun, but we definitely need some Lord of the Rings music playing as the Bretonnians charge forward in all their glory. I mean, that is exactly what you want. This is the modern male fantasy right here, and they're going to be able to rip through. The vampire counts have built defenses, though. They're holding the line there. But yeah, nothing is going to stop this glorious charge. Look at it go, breaking through the front line, now into the enemy missile line. Yeah, they do not stand a chance. Look at the kills as well, just being racked up. Even the magic coming in, able to do some damage, ripping down the front line. But yeah, no way are they able to stop this one bit.